persevered with
Right. You were an engineer.
Yes.
Were you engineering in South Africa?
Oh yes.
What type of engineering were you
At
doing?
that time, when I was in Joburg, I was working in a place that made printing machines and paper converting machines.
Uh-huh.
So it was quite technical work.
Aye.
And you could always find time to do a wee home job, you know.
Aye.
pull this out and
Engineers always did that.
Try this, try that, and the next thing.
Aye.
Whatever I did, it didn't seem to make them much better.
Uh-huh.
I managed a bit better later on.
But the thing is, you learn from your mistakes,
Oh.
aren't you?
Sometimes the mistakes can be costly.
Aye. But the great thing is, make mistakes but don't make them twice.
That's for sure, then. That's for sure. I'll make my share of mistakes.
Aye.
I just don't tell anybody about them.
Aye.
Put them in a bucket and keep quiet.
But so is that where you started your interest in sort of turning and
you could
make pipes?
say that, because at that stage I wanted those pipes to be a bit better, and I begged and borrowed other bits of bagpipes and footed about and tried to make them better. So, but I think in with hindsight, the biggest problem I had was my ears. I didn't have a really good ear, which, to be fair, you really need a really good. If you compare one thing just now and then you do one little thing to it and you try it 10 minutes later, it's such a small change.
Do you think your ear has improved?
No. I've got permanent perforation in the one, so there's no change there. You know?
But even with experience of listening to other bagpipes over the years, you must have
I'm sure I have.
sensed some improvement. You know,
I think the more you know, or the more you can hear, you don't appreciate how much
you
you
acquire
hear.
an ear.
You don't really appreciate what you hear. I mean, it's as simple as there's my son John, for example. John's got a perfect pitch.
Yeah.
And there's a story as a boy. And John was about 15. He's up the stairs in his room, and I'm in the living room there playing my pipes. I think, this is going great stuff.
Right.
And John comes bounding down the stairs. He goes way back up the stairs again. So, and you think you're doing well, you know.
Aye, but sometimes I wonder if we're like painters, and when you don't practice and you don't look at other stuff and all the rest, I think you lose the tonal quality. That's the first thing that goes, and you lose the general ability to execute your art, if you like. But if you are in Piper's company all the time, or you're in a pipe band, a top pipe band, and you listen to a good pitch, you acquire the ear for that pitch. And it's the same with the solo pipe, and if you're doing the circuit or you're mixing with other pipers, you listen to the bass there, you're going to acquire that sort of pitch in your mental eye sort of thing, and say, oh, that's what I'm trying to acquire here, you know. And so when you're messing about with reeds and a pipe chanter and this, that and the next thing, you're going in the right direction because you've got a notion about what you're trying to do, rather than just getting about in a fog. But it must have been difficult, possibly out in South Africa. Has that been patronising? Probably is. How was their pitch out there?
Because you might remember Johannesburg 6,500 feet up. And it's a notorious difficult place to get pipes going. Coming from here to there, you have to put about half a yard of hemp under your chanter reed to get it.
Right.
And then you finish up. Because I was there recently, and you find the guys that get a lot. With modern chanters now, they get a lot of chips on the low because they've got to cover so much of the high G hole to get it into pitch.
Yeah.
So they've got the problems there, but. As I said, there used to be a lot of immigrants who helped the piping scene there, but there isn't any immigrants anymore. There is different schools of thought. I know a bit of the South African scene, but you don't need to be Scottish to play bagpipes. You know?
No.
And in one of the respects that I think teaching generally the world over is better, and there's more accessible teaching now than ever before in the world. There's none of this story, I've got a wee secret and I'm not telling you. You ask some of the top players today, ask them something about technical, they'll tell you.
Aye.
I mean, well, that's the same. I mean, around here when I was about, there was nowhere you could learn paper. The only way you could learn a paper here was where, I think at this time, it was the start of Donald MacLeod's music tapes, or go to the College of Piping. That was the only places you could learn a paper around.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I know about South Africa. If you want to play bagpipes in South Africa, somebody along the way, not even far along the way, when you're doing your movements, they'll show you what a croonlua is
Aye.
on a dray and a die. Somebody will show you that, because now that's coming into the pipe band repertoire, those movements.
Yes. Aye.
So generally speaking, that you'll be familiar with what Pipers's all about, whereas here when I was a boy, Pipers's was just a funny word.
I tend to agree with you there, yes.
Unless you were
Aye.
I think the only one about here that played any Pipers's was David Kay,
Mm-hmm.
young David Kay up in Cumnock. And I don't think he even pushed it in any. I think he played once at Cowler.
Well, I stayed up in Glasgow, and I had Norrie Gillis as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of his first pupils, if not the first pupil, because he was in his early 20s at that time. Norrie wasn't a beaver player at that time. I know he went to John McClellan at the Castle. He did the course there, and he probably picked up a bit in beaver and that. But Norrie was a light music man, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt I had to go back to the College of Piping, the likes of John McFadgen or Ian McFadgen or somebody like that, to try and Ronnie Morrison, who eventually went back to for beaver lessons, you know. But it was still a problem there. I don't think it's nearly as big a problem now, getting beaver lessons.
No, it's not a problem.
You know.
Because even at the schools, if you're in a school that they've got an instructor,
Aye.
it has to be at least, to pass your exams, he has to be able to give you a ground of a paper to
Mm-hmm.
run with. You have to know that anyway.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a boy, what's a ground? The ground's something you walk on. There's no, at least when we told about it.
Just before we dip away from South Africa, can I anxious just to give it the full whack here. Highland Games, did they have Highland Games?
Oh, yes.
And so was it scattered throughout the country, or was it local?
Yes and no. It's around about Johannesburg, which is what they call it, it's Vaterland. It's you would say there's maybe between Pretoria and Johannesburg, maybe about 5 or 6 games a year.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a big one down on the south coast at Durban, down in the Manzimtoti. They have 1 or 2 down where Chris Derry comes from, down in Grahamstown direction. There's 1 in Cape Town, 1 in Kimberley, 1 in Bloemfontein. So if you've got a lot of them, you've got to do a lot of travelling to, right?
No, that's fine. How many, I take it the solo piping there?
There's always solo piping in the morning and the bands in the afternoon.
What sort of entry have they got?
Now I couldn't tell you. I don't really know. I'm going to go back in March to play in the 100 Guineas competition, and that's Peaburg and March to Spain Real.
Uh-huh.
There'll be about 12.
Right.
Which is a fair bit.
But if you go to Tain Elk now,
That's
which I
it.
did,
Yes,
there's only 12 competed there.
Same story, yeah.
Right. So we shouldn't frown at the attendance figures elsewhere, and we will come round to the games in a wee while. In Scotland,
Out of that 12, I'm going for Scotland. There's a guy called John Decker who's a South African, but he's staying in New Zealand. He's going over back.
Right.
He's going over. And there's a chance of Rowan Martin, who lives up in Zimbabwe, him coming down for it. So
Aye.
it's the one competition where they come from all over the country to the place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Chris Terry's down in Graham's. You might say Chris Terry's in South Africa, but he's 1,000 miles away from Joburg. You know, it's a big place.
Aye, of course, it's a huge place.
The 100 Guineas competition is a bit special. Everybody comes.
And the climate there for playing pipes outside.
Great.
Aye.
Great.
I know you talked about the rarefied atmosphere because
you
of
get
it,
used
but
to that.
apart from that, the rest of the climate was.
Sunday practices under a tree. You know, Sunday morning practice under a tree is great fun.
Aye.
Shorts and a t-shirt and sit under a tree
Uh-huh.
playing your pipes. It's great fun.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about South Africa at all?
No, I had many good times in South Africa.
And
And I go back regularly, so.
when you back, did the troubles back and forward ever impinge on your life over there?
I told you to get shot at.
Aye. Apart from
That was
that.
about a year out the game getting shot.
Aye. But was it a frequent experience to come across a sort of?
It can be a violent country.
Aye.
It can be.
Well, Joburg had that reputation.
Joburg's getting to be very violent.
It's supposed to be the murder capital of Africa, sort
The
of
world
thing.
very near. It is
Aye.
getting a dangerous place. But you take precautions. There's my pal Chris, for example. He was robbed. He broke into his house, put a gun at his head and pulled the trigger 3 times and it didn't work. He just stuck a screwdriver in the guy and the guy ran away.
I remember you told me a story about you were in the house and you had a compartment in the house or a safety place that you had to go into and all that sort
Well,
of stuff.
I'll tell you, it was over for one of the 100 Guinness competitions and Cyril Hall and I were left in Chris's house alone. And Cyril was playing with all these remote controls. So what did he do? He went and pressed the panic button. So, because we didn't know about anything with the panic button. So 2 or 3 minutes later, they're screaming and shouting at the front gate. It was only just 10 yards away, these 2 big security guys. And I come down to it, and the one's got a pistol like this, and he's cocking his pistol. The guy's standing at the back with a rifle. And he says to me, "What's the password?" I said, "I don't know." Because these guys have got the story, if you don't give them the password, they're over the fence in 2 minutes, you see.
Aye.
So eventually I made a phone call and it transpired that my name was Mulhearn. It's very similar like Mullender, so it kind of, it must be my house.
Aye.
But that's the kind of thing that happens sometimes.
Aye.
It is a violent country, but
Aye.
take simple precautions, you can be alright.
I suppose you can get used to anything sort of thing. You know.
Well, it was the same as when I stayed up in Rhodesia. Rhodesia at the time, which is now Zimbabwe, that was the most wonderful country I'd ever been in, I have to say. It was a fantastic place.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I was there this over Christmas and New Year. It still is a wonderful place, and there's some lovely people there. And for all the trouble in Zimbabwe, you can walk around Bulawayo, for example, and feel completely safe. You couldn't do that in Joburg.
Peter MacLeod Jr. spent
He spent time in Bulawayo.
time there and he composed the Blue Lagoon, the famous Blue Lagoon jig.
I don't know about the Blue Lagoon, but I remember I played with the Bulawayo Caledonian Society band. And we had a job to do up in Salisbury, which is it's like we're going from here to London, about 500 miles away. And so we go overnight in the train. So the big gig was the Rhodesian Regiment, with to play the Rhodesian. I didn't know it, so I learned it getting up in the train. So and I remember fondly about it. I remember playing. We played along with it was us, the Bulawayo Caledonians, and there was the Salisbury Caledonians, playing down Jameson Avenue with the army behind us, playing the Rhodesian Regiment. Hey,
Fantastic. Great stuff.
Memories are made of this. You know?
Aye.